Singapore is located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula that consists of the diamond-shaped Singapore Islands and some 6 small islets. The history of Singapore begins in the 30th century when Sang Nila Utama founded Temasek. While hunting, he spotted a lion and took it as a good omen, which he decided to name the city as Singapura or Lion City. In 1819, Sir Stamford Raffles established a trading post for British India Company, and in 1826 it became part of the Straits of Settlement, boosting the city and its population to over 100,000. In 1867, Singapore became the crown colony of the British Empire. When the Suez Canal of Egypt opened on 1869, which cuts 5,000 miles of the regional route to Asia, Singapore again saw a huge amount of profit, massive traffic and immigration since it was located on the shortest route to Asia and as the entrepot trade hub. During World War II, Singapore was attacked by the Japanese in 1941 and remained under control for 3 years. When the Japanese surrendered, the island was handed to British military administration. After the war, Singapore became an independent colony and led by the Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. In 1963, Singapore was merged with Malaysia as a state and expelled shortly afterwards in 1965. Since then, Singapore became a fully independent nation. This is Singapore, a city-state just off the coast of Malaysia. It is one of the most praised and highly regarded economies amongst the business community in the world. Singapore has made itself a central home of finance, business, and trade for all of Southeast Asia. Singapore is one of the world's most prosperous nations with a business-friendly regulatory environment and a very low unemployment rate. Singapore's economy has been ranked by the World Economic Forum as the most open in the world, the third least corrupt, and the most pro-business. Singapore economic freedom score is 89.7, making its economy the freest in the 2021 index. Its strong economy and international trade have led it to become a wealthy country with a high income. It is also a major manufacturer of electronics and chemicals and operates one of the world's largest ports. From the 1970s, the government invested in export and trade-led growth. It became a world leader in electronics, pharmaceuticals, and financial services. There are several fundamental markers in terms of culture that have remained consistent in Singapore. Here's everything you should know about the state's culture. Culture of Singapore is a melange of Malay, South Asian, Southeast Asian, and Eurasian culture and influences. It was further influenced by multiple Chinese dynasties in other Asian countries. The local customs and cultures of Singapore are a blend of multiple ethnic influences. It is reflected in terms of spoken languages like English and Mandarin. Singapore is by far one of the cleanest countries not only in Asia but the rest of the world. Singaporeans value discipline more than anything. Many religions in Singapore coexist in harmony. Despite the fact that various communities have their own festivals, customs, and rituals, they all come together to celebrate as one. Among cultural festivals, the Lantern Festival is one of the largest celebrations in the country where the sky gets covered with flaming dots of paper lanterns set free. Lion dance by the Chinese community is performed during various festivities like New Year. The island is also known to host a range of music festivals like Mosaic Music Festival. Cultural ornaments such as these intricately designed Turkish lamps are widely sold here. Haji Lane is Singapore's own hipster lane boasting beautiful murals.
Aside from the rich culture and history of Singapore, they can also offer us their unique and flavorful food. Singapore is especially renowned for its seafood. Chili crab and black pepper crab are the two quintessential dishes that dominate the scene and are greatly recommended to tourists. Singapore's cuisine is as diverse as its culture. In fact, some of its food has resemblance to its neighboring countries. Singaporean food can be divided into 5 types: meat, seafood, rice, noodles, and dessert and snacks. With a fusion of other culture, they discovered several food that can satisfy your cravings and can match your taste buds. Singaporeans often eat at hawker centers, coffee shops, or food courts, rather than restaurants, because of convenience, a wider range of options, and affordability. These hawker centers are widespread, cheap, and usually feature dozens of stalls in a single complex, with each stall offering its own specialty dishes. As the world becomes more globalized, it is easier to access cuisines from different cultures. In Singapore, food is viewed as crucial to its national identity and a unifying cultural thread. The literature of Singapore comprises a collection of literary works by Singaporeans in any of the country's 4 main languages: English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. While Singaporean literary works may be considered as belonging to the literature of their specific languages, the literary of Singapore is viewed as a distinct body of literature portraying various aspects of Singapore society. Due to cross-linguistic fertilization becoming increasingly rare, it is now increasingly thought that Singapore has 4 sub-literatures instead of 1. Singaporean poetry. It started with the Straits-born Chinese community in the colonial era. It is unclear which was the first work of literature in English published in Singapore. But the fiction writing in English did not start in earnest until after independence. Short stories flourished as a literary form. The novel arrived much later. Children's literature. Children's literature is a body of written works and accompanying illustrations produced in order to entertain or instruct young people. It encompasses a wide range of works, including acknowledged classics of world literature, picture books, and easy-to-read stories written exclusively for children, and fairy tales, lullabies, fables, folk songs, and other primarily orally transmitted materials.